Frank Fiore of Fridays with Frank. Frank, it's Wednesday and a special broadcast. And we have an unbelievable guest today. Frank and Paul, thanks for stopping by. And we're just going to go right to the introduction. We have Leo Rossi. We know him in so many films. I remember you most in The Accused. I don't know why. It's just, there's always one show. And I'm sure people always say that in some way, that there's some one show that people remember you by. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, without a doubt. And The Accused is right at the top. I think the director made a great choice in The Accused because it's based on a true story from New Bedford, Massachusetts. Now, the guys that raped her were Portuguese and the girl was Portuguese. He said, not playing that card. Too easy for the people to say, oh, that's how they behave, right? So he made it a good cross section of America, you know. And he did say one thing. I had done Heart Like a Wheel for Jonathan, and the director, Jonathan Kaplan, and he said, "Your character, no redeeming qualities." I said, "Yeah." He said, "You sure you want to take this part?" I said, "What do you mean? I'm an actor. It's a challenge." He said, "All right, remember you said that." Wow. Because she won the Oscar, Jodie Foster, my agent would get feedback. No, no, he's a good actor, that guy, but he got a dark side. And on stage, I used to do comedies, one after the other. But that's the way that character, affected people. Even my guy, people in the business.
They still
Look,
remember it. Yeah, that's
yeah.
one of those iconic ones for sure. Frank,
Yeah.
what's your first question for Leo?
You said, I'm a filmmaker. I have a project trying to get funded. We have all the pieces in place, the screenplay, budget, everything ready to go. Just got to raise the money. But I know there are different ways of getting some information and getting some interest. We tried local investors, but they were tapped out. We've tried personal contacts, but we haven't found anything there. And now we are trying a different tack, which is just having my lawyer. I have an entertainment lawyer. Have my lawyer contact other entertainment lawyers or production companies that he might have worked with in the past, and so representing me with a letter, using his letterhead. And we're going to do the same thing with Neil and him as my manager. And so maybe we might shake out some interest. But it's very, very difficult. If you had to give me one or two secrets of how to get to people that would be interested in our project and fund it, what would you suggest?
Well, first of all, you're doing everything right. It's always a tough time to raise money. Now, with a whole year, because the strike literally was a year. You had 2 months before the strike, they slowed down because they knew the strike was coming. And then to gear up, it was 2 months after the strike. So that's 11 months. That's a whole year. Then everybody was holding back on the economy. Um, there's no way you're turning over all the rocks. I'll give you a case in point if it means anything. And this happened in Pittsburgh. Um, we had a script based on the Philly mob, okay?
Okay, okay.
And so the fact was, um, the gal who had raised money, she said, "I got the guy. He's one stop shop." I said, "You got the guy, one stop shop?" Because it was $11 million budget. She said, "Yep." I said, "Well, that's okay." She said, "He wants to talk to you." Okay, all right, good enough. Well, the fellow comes from what's the real ritzy section right outside of Pittsburgh? Uh, oh, if you said it, I'd know it. Here's how wealthy this guy was.
Mount Lebanon,
No, 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 no. I'll
the
come to it.
Wickley,
Yes, yes, and
Swickley. Yes.
Swickley, right?
Uh-huh.
And he, I mean, he was going to do it all. And so, you really got the goose. So I said, well, he said, read the script. Yeah, read the script. I said, oh, great. Yeah, I'm happy with it, man. Yeah, good. I said, well, listen, I know everybody in Philadelphia, Sharon Pinkinson, the film office, everybody said, well, why? I said, because it's set in Philadelphia. So let me tell you something, son. You want to make it, you're going to shoot it in Pittsburgh. I went, holy shit. I said, you don't understand. No, I have seeds at the Italian market, right? And he goes, not my problem. And I went, holy shit. And anyway, what ends up happening is um, the people, we ended up filming it. It was called 10th and Wolf, and we filmed it in Pittsburgh. I was there for 4.5 months, and people in Philadelphia, the critics, the talk show, Angelo Cataldi, they wouldn't let me on. He's a traitor. He's a traitor. He don't. And I went, don't they get it? I'm just trying to get a movie made, you know? And so that's my story, in Pittsburgh. And he was so wealthy. I was on his spread and all the horses, and he's got everything. And he was a good guy. He had a little drinking problem. He had a big drinking problem. So we had to have our meetings at 7 in the morning because it went downhill after that.
Oh my,
Believe
yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah, it was, so as it turns out, we're talking, and I said, this is a hell of a place. I said, look, you got the horses, everything. I said, you know, and he goes, you got to keep up with the Joneses. I said, yeah, yeah. He bought the house from Jones, the steel magnet guy. That's where he bought the whole spread from. I went, holy God, what am I dealing with here? But it did get made. It did get made.
That's good.
And that does not happen. Frank, right? It's Frank.
Yep.
Yeah. It's you're doing it, and you don't know where you're going to find it. If there's one thing that I can, what's your budget?
2 million.
Pardon me?
2 million.
2 million. Okay.
Which is, but that's what they nice
Yeah.
safe.
Yeah, and you're going to shoot it. You want to shoot it in Pittsburgh?
No, he's in Arizona. So he's in
Oh.
Arizona, and Paul's in Cleveland area.
Oh,
He's in,
okay.
he's in the Erie area of,
Okay.
near Lake Erie, and I'm in Mentor, Ohio. Can you believe I moved to Cleveland from Pittsburgh? I'm pretty much as you showing that Philadelphia shirt. I'll wear a Brown shirt next week, and I get all my Pittsburgh fans because I'm nationally syndicated all over the world and everything. So, but yeah, he's from Arizona. Tell where you're from.
Oh.
Frank's in Prescott, Arizona, where he's going to shoot this Western.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Western is about Prescott. I mean, and what's so good about it, we also created a trailer with already, so we had a 3-minute trailer. But what's good about the Prescott and the story being in Prescott is that when you have a casting call, you tell people to come. They come with their guns and and the costumes and everything. I mean, all the locations are here. I mean, it's just great. We don't have to create it.
That's
And
I don't know if I was the director of that film, how I'd feel. Guys come with loaded pistols, but
well, no, we had our what do you call it, our gun control person.
Yeah.
Had an armorer there. All the guns were checked before and then during.
yeah, well, we all know that has really changed everything. I did a big shootout a month and a half ago, and 15 guys were going to get shot. And I tell you, we spent half the day weapons, showing it, everybody, this, that, angles, because after the Alec Baldwin tragedy, it's very. But what's the tax credit? Tax credit in Arizona?
about 30,000. Whatever. That's a 3 number. So that's it. And it was
Yeah.
much higher, but now it's done about around 3. So yes,
Yeah.
we about the 30%, a third back. So that's not bad, but it's
Yeah.
there.
No, it's changing. They're drying up the tax credits. We shot. I wrote the movie Gotti, the original script, whatever they
Okay.
did to it, and we filmed Gotti, and it was based in New York in the 80s, and we filmed it in Cincinnati.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that. Okay, and
Yep.
which
The,
Gotti are you talking about? Which film? Who?
this is the one with Travolta.
Which was
Uh,
an you did an unbelievable job with that.
oh, well,
Ah,
thanks. I mean, um, the whole thing was, and I became a believer. Cincinnati was 40% tax rebate.
wow.
So that was going to keep us there. And then we did 3 days of exteriors in New York. The big shooting at the Sparks Steakhouse, the killing of Castellano and everything. So we did, 3 days in New York. And you look at it, you go, I bought it. I bought that we were filmed the whole thing in New York, you know? But a Western a little different. Um, I don't want to make you crazy, Frank, right? But I just found out an episode of Taylor Sheridan's 1923. There's 8 episodes, each episode in the ballpark of 22 million. A friggin' episode. I I I guess
Wow.
if you got the goose that's laying that egg, God bless him. I mean, I knew him as an actor, and he certainly has come, full circle. But that's some budget. Because I was watching and I'm saying, now how the hell did they shoot this? They got the Texas Longhorns. Now where did they get? Because the guys are riding in between them. Yeah, he really went out and got Texas Longhorns and everything. Oh, you know.
All right. So we're gonna segue, but this is a great conversation in filmmaking because it's not easy, and you had to knock on the door so much to get business, right? To get jobs, to try to produce and direct. It's not easy, right? It's a process, and you have to take a lot of no's to get that yes.
Yeah, you got to kiss a lot of pigs, and and when you do, you go, I'm the luckiest son of a, because everybody believes in their project. You know, it's like you got to have that passion, but to find, the genre, like I have done, and right now, the genre is, if it's not a Marvel or stuff like that, it's horror. And
Yes.
I did Halloween 2, Halloween Part 2. I did Maniac Cop, right? So I said to myself, I've done these. I'm going to write one. Ooh, that's a little different because I said, "Oh, this ain't that easy." Oh man, you really got to buy into point of view. You got to have a subplot that's really cool. So I did. I do it. It's fitting, and now I'm trying to sell it.
So
you
okay,
know,
so there you go. So there's another person trying to sell something.
yeah.
It's tough. It's not easy, but you just can't give up on your passion,
No,
Leo. And I think that's it. Yeah.
I'm too far in.
Yeah.
you know, I ain't going nowhere. If you put on my tombstone, Survivor. I'm good with that. I'm good. That's it. Survivor.
All right, Paul. Question for Leo.
Um, uh, Hi, Leo.
Hi.
I'm
Hi,
I'm
Paul.
very curious about despicable characters. So I'm kind of one in my books, that is, and I'm wondering how you prepared yourself, or how you went about with the accused, since he was such a bad guy. I love him. I love that guy. But
Well,
how do you go about presenting yourself in the no redeeming quality sort of arena?
um, it's I am a champion in life of wanting to be liked. So if it was difficult for some people, it was 2 times more difficult for me. And what I did, I just, I found something in me. And And it was, you know, I love to smile and all, and that's it. And ain't no way I'm smiling, and that changed my whole behavior. Because if I meet you, I've got a big smile for you. Yeah, how you doing? Everything, and you know, but with that, I'll even show you one incident where it was in the trial phase, and Jody was on trial, and my wife, the actress playing my wife, was sitting in the first row behind us. You know, I was on trial, and I said to Jonathan, I said, you know what? It'd be great if I just reached over and touched my wife's hand. Just no redeeming qualities. Okay. Okay. I just want to touch her hand. Jesus God. But it's a commitment, and you got to find that dark place. You know, it's uh and then, you know, I remember when I first started, if I was playing a real badass, you know, I really would say at the table, my two daughters, I said, pass the fucking peas. Oh, what did I say? My wife looked at me. What? But you do get a little deep into those
Leo,
characters.
you know, it cracks me up is I will be doing some editing in the cutting room floor on these, but thank goodness for this script. I need to become a sponsor of that. I have just started editing all my stuff, even some of the transcripts instead of going back through. Cut that right out, but it's gonna be great for the podcast, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So let's talk about bad guys, right? I'm a
Yes.
former professional wrestler. I don't know if you knew that about my background. So
Neil Haley, no
yeah,
kidding.
yeah. You Google me. Google me when you get a chance,
Yeah.
Leo. I know you haven't. You're too busy to Google,
No,
but
no, no.
I'm a former professional wrestler. The Rock wore my knee pads before he was The Rock. I wrestled. You know, I wrestled the Mid South Coliseum against Jerry the King Lawler. I know I hated playing bad guys. I couldn't be a bad guy. I'm too nice of a guy. I don't get that angry. Wrestling was not for me. I mean, I probably would have been better as a commentator, but when you're 6'10", 290 pounds still, if you know, wrestling kind of maybe fit a mold if basketball wasn't working out for me. So my question to you is, what other mean characters compared to the accused are the most mean and nasty characters you played?
First of all, you're 6'10".
Yes. When are we going to hang out, Leo? That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Where are you located, by the way? LA?
I am in right outside Temecula. It's the wine country down towards San Diego. And yeah, it's I don't know if I should be near 52 vineyards, but what the hell? You know, but if you're on this coast, come on down, you know. It's there. Well, you know what? In Halloween Part 2, you know, I go all over, not the country, only the country.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-uh. Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I'm here. I'm still here. Leo, you okay? All right. We'll just kind of we'll be that. Thank goodness for the cutting room floor. Are you there?
Maybe come back in a second.
I'm not gone, but Frank looks like he's gone.
No,
No,
I'm
he's here. He's good.
Oh, he's here. Okay. So Leo didn't have the weather problems like us. What's going on here? All right, well, we'll kind of play it by ear, and I'm just going to keep it rolling. Might as well just keep it rolling. Well, guys, that is an interesting conversation with Leah Rossi. I think that somehow technical difficulties go figure. But Frank, you got a perspective that you can't believe perspective, and he bounced. But I'm sure he's going to jump back because what a great guy. Again, let's thank again. Our the we were able to, Ryan McCormick for making this happen. Ryan is the nephew of Leo Rossi, and he owed me a favor to bring him on. But that's what I do. Like that's how I got Mel Brooks. I made friends with Mel's son, and that's it. You just have to ask, guys. You never know those conversations. I'm sure Leo and I will connect another time. I want to see what's going on with this podcast. But to finish up, Frank, this is what the power of podcasting does. To get to talk to an iconic actor, Frank, when you look him up, You're going to say, because we just found out a couple minutes ago, I knew about it. I just threw it on these guys to come and do this interview. But did you know, Frank? I mean, if this guy's iconic, he's been in so many movies.
That's cool. I mean,
Like,
yeah,
do you recognize him?
not really.
You were never an Accused fan? You never
No.
saw the Jodie Foster movie. One of the
Oh,
most
yeah. Well, she was raped, and it was a trial.
that he was the one that did it.
I don't know. I've seen that
Okay,
movie.
so and he's been I mean, he directed Gotti. I didn't know Paulie directed Gotti. Did you?
No, I didn't. I know a lot about Gotti. I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never
maybe
seen
he'll
Overwatch.
get me. Maybe he's going to be able to connect with some other people. See, that's the thing about rubbing elbows. Who does he know? Who's in his Rolodex? And either something technical. I thought I lost the interview, but go figure, I didn't. We had some new live streaming platforms. We're live streaming on Rumble now, guys. We're live streaming on Kick. We're live streaming on Twitch. I don't know if we'll have any people, but those are new live streaming platforms that got to see the Leo Rossi interview. I think he was having a great blast. It just looked like he completely froze. Do you think he lost power? I don't freaking know. But I guess we're gonna have to. But I guess kind of summarize this in a way, Paul. You, I don't know what other films did you say you saw him in? I mean, I know for a fact Halloween. He's completely
Oh,
iconic in Halloween.
yeah,
If you're
those are my favorite movies there. Let me see. Can't remember what else I've seen him in. I've just
I mean,
oh
if
my
we go
God.
to the list, we could go and bring Chatty on, but he's here, so he's back. All right, so
Okay,
he's
great.
back to finish up the interview. This is always the interesting of the cutting room floor. I will change his name again to Leo. And we're just going to keep it going, Leo. So appreciate it. I guess technical difficulties is fine. I'm going to
Okay,
rename
yeah.
again and keep going. We'll just keep going. So you were talking about different characters, and we'll just keep. I just kind of kept talking. So
Oh,
okay. So when I said
sorry.
professional wrestler, no,
Yeah.
it's okay. All is good. We definitely need to have a part two. That's for sure. But kind of go into, specifically enough. We were talking about the bad characters, and I talked about my days of pro wrestling and my size, and then you were going on about a character.
Yeah, and sorry again. I
That's
don't know
no, that's okay.
what
No,
the hell
that's what.
happened.
See, I know live radio, and we're live, so I did live radio at WRCT 88.3 is where and WCXJ are where I got my break in radio. One is when in professional wrestling, and I got to find those podcasts. Shout out to Aaron Lester. I did a wrestling talk show, call-in talk show on WCXJ. It was in Homewood. I don't know how familiar in Pittsburgh. It's not a great area. And I ended up doing a call-in show. Then I got my chops with my own radio show at WRCT 88.3 in Carnegie Mellon. They threw me off because I started bringing celebrities on. This is supposed to be educational. You're not supposed to promote anything. At one point, they threw me off the air, and I wasn't allowed to do it anymore. But we continue with your point. So that's why we can just keep going in the conversation. We talked
Yes.
about so many subjects. Wait till you see AI summarize this interview. But go ahead, Leo.
Look, in the end, um, bad guys, um, it's a good little payday because if Jodie Foster said to me in The Accused, she said, "You know how this has got to work," and I said, "You're going to tell me," and she said, "You got the protagonist. That's me. I need the antagonist. That's you." And I went, "Got it. Got it. You got to have that balance." And that's why she became a director. She got it. I mean, she would say things. We'd be waiting to do a scene, and she'd look up and say, "Is that a Mitchell B filter? The hell did I know? I don't know about lighting, cameras, anything." She knew all that stuff. I said, "Oh, that girl's gonna," and she said things, just little comments like, we were waiting for 16-hour day, and it was in the middle of the woods, and all of a sudden, she said, "And they think making movies is a glamorous business." Ha! And it wasn't. But I'm curious about one thing. If I could ask you, all
Sure.
right, Neil, First of all, I get it, stunts. I do my own stunts to a point, okay?
Right.
But if you're up on the top rung
Yeah.
and you're going to jump down,
Yes.
and if you're off a silly centimeter,
You're done.
somebody's going to get
You're gonna break your neck. Totally.
unbelievable.
So
All right.
here's a story where I almost
Yeah.
had my neck broken. All right. So there's
Damn.
another big guy. He was like a giant like me. He thought he's taller. His name was T Rantula, pretty well famous local wrestler in Pittsburgh. And he hated me. I was 10 years younger than him. I was cocky. I don't think I was the right person. You know, when you're getting that kind of power as an independent wrestler and getting to wrestle people like King Kong Bundy on top and the Bushwhackers and different shows where you have no experience in the business and you start getting these opportunities and Jerry Lawler saying you might end up being the WWE, you think you're the most talented person in the world. Well, I'm sure he didn't like me coming into the business where he was the giant and then I became the giant. Well, he took me on a choke slam. I jumped up high because I'm a former, college basketball player. I was so high up in the air because I could get up for people because I worked Kurgan, who was ended up becoming a actor at one point in time. He was part of the Oddities. And when he choke slammed me, I got up and he took me down nicely. And same with Mabel, God rest his soul, for Men on the Mission. He took me all the way up and he pile drive. When I went down, I said, "Oh no." Oh,
You
no.
knew you were hurt.
I wasn't hurt because I landed right, but it was
Oh,
close. And
wow.
when you think of Darren Drosdorf, who just passed away, Draws, he worked in WWE. If you watch some of these documentaries, it's great to see the specific things. You find out that, man, one little pile driver, D. Willow Brown, I think, is the one that ended up hurting him. And he said, "Man, I knew I hurt him." And he felt so bad about it, paralyzed the rest of his life. Great question, Leo.
Well,
Unbelievable.
how close did Mickey Rourke get to the behind the scenes in The Wrestler?
I'm sure he got it very close. I don't think they
Okay.
hide this stuff. There's no kayfabe anymore. I was going to say, you're the best heel in the world, man. That's what we call in wrestling. And the heel is the one that generates money. When The Rock turned heel, when John Cena just turned heel, that's when you draw all the money. People start hating The Rock. They start hating Cena. The biggest heel in the world is Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon made it the business, whatever the business is, because he's
Yeah.
the greatest heel in the world.
Yeah.
But you become that heel, you turn on somebody, and bam.
Well,
That's what draws money, and that's what brings the baby face in, and that's why people come and see the next match. Period.
your show's on in Pittsburgh, and when I was doing that movie there, Bruno Sammartino came to the set.
Oh my God.
Oh,
Everyone remembers Bruno. Oh my
what
God.
an-
What a gentleman Bruno
oh,
Sammartino is. God rest his soul.
honest to God, wonderful. Yeah, and all. But yeah, so look, I wish you luck on getting money for your film because you're doing all the right things.
And I want to help you, Leo, with some of my contacts with your film. We need to talk off air.
Sure.
See if I can start pitching it some places. I'm pitching other people's films. Might as well just do it because interesting. I'm getting a sports agent hat on soon. I'm about to get a deal with a sports agency I'm going to be working with. So I always like to wear those hats and connect people. So we definitely need to stay in touch. What's your latest project, really quickly? Because we do have I have to jump in a second.
Sure, certainly. On Amazon Prime, it's a series that I'm shooting. We're going into our third season, and it's
What
great.
series is that? What series?
It's called, all one word, Gravesend.
Gravesend.
All one word. And I get to hook up, I can't say that these days. I get to act with some of my friends, Armand Desante, Chaz Palminteri, it's and in his dramatic debut, Shaq O'Neal.
Oh my gosh. When are
Yeah.
you so you've already filmed that with Shaq?
We filmed, yeah. We're finishing up the third season now. I'm the only one outside of the lead guy that's in every episode. And, Mikey the Hat. I said, this is interesting. You got 4 guys in the cast, actually 5, that have shaved heads. I got a full head of hair, and I'm wearing the friggin' hat. What's the story?
Is this your project, Gravesend, or are you
No,
just
no,
backing
no.
it?
I'm a gun for hire. You
Okay.
know, yeah, that's a little
So
different.
this has been on Prime then. Great.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Really? Okay, I'm adding it to the list. Are you been
You,
in all the seasons, or this is
yeah,
only?
yeah, yep. For everyone.
Wow. Okay. What
Yeah.
other projects? Anything else going?
Yes, yes. Something, and I can't say what streamer it is, but I wrote a script about a fella who, and it involves, yeah, organized crime, hockey, combination of the two, and somehow he got to the right people and had the right representation, and they want to do a reality show. And my wife said, "Don't say it, Leo," because I was about to say I don't do reality shows,
You better
know,
do it.
and I kept my mouth shut. Isn't that something that was unique for me? You
That's
know?
huge. So I was gonna say is if I pitch your film and you get what can I be in your film then? Especially 610. If you're it's a horror movie, right?
Oh yeah, we there is a role for you. I was going to have Jerry Cooney do it, but I didn't say anything to him yet. So you got your name on that one, baby.
If I get you the funding, I got
Yeah,
it. I got it. All right.
all good.
It's game on. It's game on. All right. So best place we can connect with you, your podcast is on all different podcast platforms. What's that called?
Yes, it's called, you say it's Deep Cover, the real Donnie Brasco, because
Oh,
there's some deep covers around, but Deep Cover, the real Donnie Brasco. 39 episodes.
okay.
So it's great. Man, guys, this is
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then
sad.
also, are you on social? What's the best social media for people to connect with you?
You know what? I'm not really into it.
You're not social.
Yeah. No, but I am the last of the Mohicans, and I am going to turn it up, soon.
So that's why we have to talk. It's something else I do. Appreciate it,
Okay.
Leo. We really appreciate it, man. Thanks again. All
Thank
right.
you.
That was a special
Take
simulcast.